Mr. Chairman, my name is Barry Johnston. I teach at the Colony High School in the Colony, Texas. And first, an unpaid plug, but the other question about having state laws or federal laws with regard to teaching personal finance, the state of Texas does have such a law, and I can tell you that the Building Wealth program that the Fed provides has been a big help to all of us. Now, my question is, what do you believe would or could have happened if the Fed, in collaboration with the government, had not taken the very aggressive steps it took during the financial crisis?
Well, this is a very, very important question, and I thank you for asking that. And this is one of the very, very difficult areas. To put it quite bluntly, a lot of your students, a lot of people in the country say, well, they bailed out Wall Street. What's that got to do with me? I mean, that's way over there. It has nothing to do with me. We got involved in the government in trying to prevent the collapse of some critical financial firms, not because we cared about the managers or shareholders of those firms. I've been a professor all my life. I never worked in Wall Street. I got no particular connection to Wall Street or to banks. The reason we got involved in doing that, and it was a very distasteful thing to do, and we didn't really have the right tools to do it, but the reason we did it was because we knew from history that the financial system is so critical to the functioning of our economy that the collapse of the financial system would have been catastrophic. That's what happened in the 1930s. That's what's happened in many, many other episodes. For example, in the case of Japan, Japan had a major financial crisis in the 1980s, which was a combination of a stock market crash and a land market crash, which caused their banks to suffer severely. And that severely hampered their growth for more than a decade. So we know that a financial crisis can be very, very damaging to the real economy. In September and October of 2008, we came extraordinarily close to a complete collapse of the global financial system, not just the United States, but of the whole global financial system. We had a meeting here in Washington in October of the G20, the 20 of the largest countries in the world, and we talked about what we were going to do, and we developed coordinated plans whereby in each country around the world we took strong steps to try to prevent the financial system from melting down, essentially. Now, we didn't succeed entirely, obviously. We had at least one major firm collapsed. We had other firms that required government bailouts. Those things were, as I said, were very distasteful to us. But even though we succeeded in avoiding a much worse collapse, we still had a tremendously sharp global recession. And I would say that as bad as the recession was in the United States in 2008 and 2009, we were kind of in the middle of the pack. A lot of countries around the world had even worse downturns than we did. And all of this happened following a basically successful attempt to stabilize the global financial system. I can only say that if the global financial system had really melted down and many firms had failed, if the ability to make loans had essentially dried up, if people had lost most of their investments, their savings accounts, their retirement accounts, we would not be today at least on a recovery path. We would still be in a much deeper hole, something much closer to the Great Depression of the 1930s. So I do hope that while clearly your students will understand that not everything that the government did during the recession and the crisis was right, that stepping in to prevent the collapse of the global financial system was something that was necessary, and it affected every single American in a very important way. I guess the final thing I would say, and this is I hope will help people understand, while there was a lot of money made available to address the problems of the financial system, at this point it looks like we're going to get it all back, pretty much all of it, from the financial rescues. I mean, most of these banks have paid us back with interest. Again, not a great situation, not something we would ever want to do again, but we are getting our money back on top of everything else. So I would have to say that this was a successful policy, not a popular one, but a successful one. And again, as an economic historian, somebody who has spent much of their career looking at economic history, both in the United States and in other countries, I firmly believe that we really had to stop that collapse of the financial system, or else the consequences for everybody here, for all your students, would have been much more severe than what we did see.